guys, it's Sarah, and I decided that I wanted to vlog my middle grade March reading, and I'm doing that because not all of my reading in March is going to be middle grade, but I would really like to get to most, if not all, of my TBR. So I did pick one book for each prompt, and I have 5 books set aside. I did grab a bonus one from the library. I'm hoping to get to that one too, but we'll see. And I'm gonna get started today, so I thought it'd be fun to take you along on the ride. So what I'm gonna do is I'm kind of letting my mood drive this, so kind of whatever I'm in the mood for when I'm ready to pick another one up, and I'm gonna try to keep it consistent. And we're gonna pick the first one today. All right, so I have my TBR sitting on top of this cart, and so my middle grade ones are all right here. This is the bonus one. I got Otter by Catherine Applegate from the library, so I would like to get to that one as well. But I think for my first one, I'm kind of in the mood for a contemporary because I don't read that much contemporary middle grade. So I think I'm going to start with Coyote Sunrise. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this one. And I'm probably going to start with taking off this Target sticker because that's super annoying and Target stickers are the worst. So I'm going to take that sticker off before I get started, and I will show you how I actually take those stickers off. But I'm going to go ahead and start with this one, and then I need to grab my middle grade March bookmark because of course I do. So this will be book number 1. Hey guys, okay, I am heading out for breakfast with the middle grade March ladies. You guys, I'm so excited. Okay, so Krista, Amanda, Katie, and Jenna did a little middle grade March trip, and they are in my area. Katie and Amanda are heading home on their flight today, so on the way to the airport, they asked if I wanted to like have breakfast with them on the way out, and I was like, oh my god, yes. So I'm heading out right now to go and meet up with them, and I'm so excited. I just cannot wait to squeeze them. So yeah, which the timing was actually perfect because hello, middle grade March, and I get to meet up with them, you know, for a meal. So I'm very, very excited. Okay, we just had breakfast. It was wonderful and so good to squeeze my friends. So it was fantastic. But we are currently in South Riding, Virginia. That's where we just had breakfast. This is where Finley Donovan is set by El Casamano. The Finley Donovan series is set in South Riding. And you guys, guess what? Panera Bread is right there. You guys, that's Panera in South Riding. You guys, it's not where we ate at First Watch, but Panera is right there. I was like, oh my gosh, this is literally Finley Donovan world right now. So that's kind of fun. And then I need to get back home and do some more reading. So fun times. Hey guys, okay, I am just about at the halfway point for Coyote Sunrise, The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise, and I'm really enjoying this. It's definitely, when I sit down and read it, it's a quick read. It's going quickly. I just have to make time to sit down and read it. That's where I'm just feel like it's kind of a constant struggle with me right now still, but it's fine. But when I'm making the time to sit down and read it, I'm really enjoying my time and it is going quick. I love Coyote. I love her. She is such a little spunk. She makes me happy. I do. I love her. I have liked where the story's going so far, and I like the people that they're meeting on the way. We're into that right now, where they're meeting some people along their journey. And I know it's going to get deeper. I know it's going to get there. We've already seen little hints of things. So I'm kind of trying to make some notes of things that this is discussing that I think people should be made aware of before they go in, because there is some stuff that's being discussed that's a little bit on the heavy side, but I am just really enjoying it. The characters are so great, and lots of book references in here too, which I really love. It's just a lot of fun. But yeah, so I'm really, really enjoying this right now. And I will let you know when I'm done. I'm hoping to finish it up in the next few days. Like, I kind of have an idea of how many pages I'm going to try to get to every day to try to finish it up by the end of this week. So that's what I'm going to be trying to do. But so far, I'm really enjoying my time reading this one. Hey guys, I finished Coyote Sunrise last night, and I loved it. This was a total 5-star. I probably read half the book yesterday, just about. I just could not put it down. It got so intense. I was not expecting how intense and just thrilling it became. I wasn't expecting that at all. So that was a really nice surprise. But this book is so much about grief and people dealing with it. And there's a found family element in here. There is just coming to terms with things, basically, and what that looks like for different people, and what that looks like for people that you care about. And just, I loved it. I love this book so much. It was fantastic. So high recommend on this one for me. I loved it. The adventures that they were on were just awesome. So 5 stars. There is, obviously, this is a big book that deals with grief, so there's that in there. And then there is a small mention of domestic abuse, so that is in here as well. It's not detailed, but there is mentions of it. So I always like to try to mention that if I can, but it's not a major thing. Yeah, but 5 stars. Love, love, love. So first middle grade March book is done, and it was a 5-star read. So that's awesome. All right, so now I need to pick my next one. Hey guys. Okay, I'm ready to start on book number 2. So I'm going to be listening to Al Capone Does My Shirts by Jennifer Kledenko. And I decided to listen to this one because I'm ready for another audiobook now. And it's very short. It's only a 6-hour audiobook. I can usually listen on double speed, so I may be able to listen to this in 3 hours, but we'll see how it goes, how the narrator is. I'm not quite sure yet, but I've heard very good things about this one. A lot of people seem to read it and love it. And it is about a young boy who is living on Alcatraz Island because his father works at Alcatraz. He got a job there, so his whole family moves there. And so I've heard really, really good things. And this was actually recommended in our first Besties reading retreat, so it was on my list anyway to check out. And I think I bought this when we were in Madison, I believe. I found this at a Goodwill, and Lindsay found it at a Goodwill, and she threw it at me because she knew I was looking for it. So yeah, so I'm excited to see what it's all about. Hey guys, okay, I finished Al Capone Does My Shirts. I will say that the audiobook was great. The narrator was really, really good. I'm landing on a 3-star with this one. And I'm trying, I don't know, it took me a little bit to figure out what I was going to rate it, because I was kind of like 3 or 4, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. I was really hoping to actually see Al Capone. I kind of thought that, based on some things that I had heard, that that our main character was going to maybe have interactions with him. But no. So I was a little disappointed in that because I kept just kind of waiting for that. And that didn't happen. I also did not like the love interest. So there was like a crush thing happening in here. I mean, these are little kids, so it's not like a love story. But there was a crush and I couldn't stand her. And I couldn't stand that there was just this attraction there, even though Moose knew that she's a terrible person, but he was still attracted to her. And that just bothered me. Because I feel like when someone shows their true personality and it's ugly, like, then they're ugly. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That just kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. But I did love Natalie, and I loved the representation of autism in here, because this is set in 1935 and autism was not a diagnosis back then. So she did say in the author's note that I think autism was an actual diagnosis in the late 40s, like 1948 maybe. So it was interesting to see how people around Natalie were trying to learn how to care for her, because they didn't know, what was going on with her. And so they were trying their best to make sure that, she was taken care of and stuff. And it's difficult navigating that, especially when it's something you can't explain. So that was interesting. I did like that aspect of it for sure. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I liked it, but I didn't love it. And there were just a couple things I really didn't care for. So I'll say that. But I'm glad I read it. It was good. And yeah, so I don't think I'll continue with the series. I know that there's a few books in this series here, but I think like this is fine for me. I don't need to continue. But I am glad that I read it. So book number 2 for Middle Grade March is done. And now I need to go pick my next one. I wonder what that's going to be. All right, next middle grade. So I have this from the library. This one, I know I'm going to be kind of starting this weekend, so I'm not going to start on that one quite yet. And then I do have a Mari here as well, although I'm currently reading a good fantasy. I think I'm going to go Otter because I can read this pretty quickly. It is a book that is written in verse, and I do have it from the library, so it's going to need to go back. But I think I can maybe even read this today because I don't work today. I have the day off. And since it's in verse, it's going to go pretty quickly. So I think I'm going to do this. And if I can maybe stop looking at the cover, because seriously, oh my goodness. I read the whole thing in 3 different sittings. I just sat down and, it's in verse, so it's very, very easy and quick to read. But I love this story. So we follow a sea otter named Otter. That's her name. And she lives in the Monterey Bay in California. And she's in the wild. She was born in captivity, but she was released. And she was pretty much raised by humans. So she was taught how to be an otter by humans and not by another otter. It kind of goes into all that. So she is released back into the wild, and she's living out for a few years, and she ends up getting injured and discovered by the aquarium and taken back in to patch her back up and see if she can be re-released again. But she has to go through rehab. She has to go through all this kind of stuff. So it kind of follows that. And the conversations that happen in here between the otters is really cool and really good. There were parts that I kind of laughed out loud a little bit, and it was very heartwarming, very, very heartwarming. And I love the author's note in here because it tells you what her inspiration was. She wrote this book based on actual otters. She did combine some stories and some timelines and stuff, but she goes into all that in the author's note about, you know, this otter is based on this occurrence and this happening, and then, you know, all that kind of stuff. So that was really neat to read that. And I just loved it. This is 5 stars. I loved it. You guys, oh man, this was so good. This was so good. Loved it. I'm really glad I was able to make this happen today. You guys, okay, today's a very special day. Now, I had just met up with Krista and Amanda. Today, I get to see Lindsay. You guys, so Lindsay and her family are in DC for spring break, and Krista and I both were like, there is no way we are not going to try to make this work. So plans are still a little bit fluid right now, but as of right now, we do have some plans to meet up and do a little bit of book shopping and hopefully have a meal as well with our families, and Krista's driving up too. So I'm so excited to squeeze them. So that's the plan for today. And I feel very spoiled that I get to just see my besties randomly. Hey guys. Okay, so I'm going grocery shopping today. And I thought that it would be fun to go ahead and knock out a book while I'm grocery shopping. The reason I can do a whole book is because it's a very short book. I'm going to listen to it on audio. I can listen while I'm driving, while I'm shopping, while I'm driving home, while I'm putting away, a little bit after. I just have the time to do that today. So I thought it would be fun to listen to Matilda by Roald Dahl. This is a book that I don't ever remember reading. I know that I've read Roald Dahl before, but I don't ever remember reading Matilda specifically. Like, I could not tell you the story. So I requested the audiobook that is narrated by Kate Winslet after a couple of people have been talking about how good that version of it is. And it's actually award-winning as well. Like, the audiobook version of it is award-winning. So I was like, I should listen to this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm planning to do that today. So it's available now. I'm ready for it. And I'm going to listen while I'm shopping. And then when I get home and when I'm done later today, I will let you know my thoughts on it. But I'm excited. Hey guys. Okay, so I'm back from grocery shopping. I listened to Matilda the entire time that I was shopping. And then it took me a little bit longer afterwards to finish it up when I was home. But I did listen to the entirety of it, and it was so good. It was so good. I really enjoyed listening to this book. I loved Matilda as a character. I thought she was great. And yeah, I had never read this book. I was like, I would have remembered all this. There's no way. Her love for books and reading spoke to me, obviously, as such a big reader myself, but just going to the library and checking out tons of books and just reading them and then taking them back. Like, I did that a lot as a kid. And yeah, I loved that. And just how advanced she was for, in the beginning of this book, she's 4 years old and she's reading like Dickens. Okay. I was not that. That was not me, but, I loved seeing her being surrounded by really good grownups, and then also how she dealt with the bad grownups that were in her life, because she has quite a few. The headmaster of her school, oh man, talk about a villain. Yikes. My mouth was just dropping. I was like, is this woman for real? Like, what is going on? But I loved her relationship with her teacher. I thought that was so great. And yeah, I just loved it. I thought it was fantastic. So I'm giving it 5 stars. Like, is it the best book I've ever read? No, but it was a really, really great middle grade book, and kids would love this book. And I had a really good time listening to it. And Kate Winslet as an audiobook narrator is phenomenal. So, yeah, that was great. All right. I have one more book that I want to squeeze in before the end of the month. So I am going to pick that one and, yeah, get started on it because it's the group read. Okay. So next one is definitely going to be a Rover Story, because this is the group read and they are doing a live show for this at the end of the month. And I really want to make sure that I read this to be able to talk to them about it, because I have not read a sci-fi yet this year. And when they announced this, I was so excited because sci-fi is the genre I want to get into. So, yeah, I haven't read anything by Jasmine Warga yet either. And I've heard really, really good things about her books. So, I'm very excited about this one. Hey guys. Okay. Final update. I finished A Rover Story by Jasmine Warga. This was the group read for Middle Grade March, and they are doing their live show tonight. So I finished it just in time to be able to get on there and talk about that with them while they're talking about it. And I thought this was precious. I really did. It's a very quick read. I really enjoyed my time reading this book. I loved how there is real science in here, but it made it interesting. There are real scientific facts that are in here, but the way that she tells the story through the perspective of the rover and him building relationships with other machines around him was really cool. And the difference between humans and, robots and, just different things like that was really cool. It was a cool dynamic. I really liked it a lot. And you see him actually start to have human feelings, which is weird, which was never explained why he had those feelings, but you saw him recognize that he was getting those feelings and he didn't know why either. So it was really cool to see that as well. But you're seeing his interactions. There's also an aspect in here where there's communication, like a different way for you to follow what's happening with the humans that are involved in this story. And it was a different type of thing besides, you weren't really getting a perspective. It was a cool aspect of it. But yeah, I really enjoyed my time with this. I liked seeing it. I liked getting those scientific facts in a different way that made it really interesting. And she does talk about some of the liberties that she took as well with science in her author's note, and where she got her inspiration for Rez, who his name is Resilience, and they call him Rez. And I just thought it was precious. I really liked it a lot. I'm going to give it 4 stars. It wasn't like the best thing I've ever read, but I really did enjoy it a lot. Like, this is one I would keep on my shelves, and I would definitely recommend it. It's so sweet. I really liked it a lot, and I'm really glad that this was the group pick. So with this, Middle Grade March is done for me. So I read 5. I read 5 middle grade books, you guys. I don't know that I've had this much success in Middle Grade March before. I feel like last year was a little bit of a bust. I don't think I did very well last year, but I completed all 5 of the challenges. So quick recap. The challenges were a sci-fi dystopian. So I read the group read. So that was a Rover Story. An award winner that was not a Newbery was Matilda for me. A neurodivergent character that was Al Capone Does My Shirts. A book with sky or sea on the cover. I read The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise. And then a book that was released in 2022, I picked Otter for that one by Catherine Applegate. So I completed all 5 challenges, which is awesome. Very proud of myself. So huge success for me for Middle Grade March this year. Very happy I participated and really just enjoyed all the books that I read. I really, truly did. So very successful here. I didn't get to everything that was on my TBR. I did change out a couple things, but that's okay. I'm really happy with what I ended up reading. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Did you participate in Group Middle Grade March? Let me know. If you did, what was your favorite? I think of all the 5 that I read, I think Coyote Sunrise was my favorite. I really do. I loved that book. So that was a big standout for me. But yeah, let me know your favorite, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Hope you have a good day.